Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of random aside stuff to begin the video. The first thing is visiting our shrine handmaid, and I want to take a look at the new armor. The dancer set I didn't read last time. The crown worn by the dancer of the Boreal Valley, the mirage-like aurora veil, is said to be an article of the old gods, permitted only for direct descendants of the old royal family. Armor worn by the dancer of the Boreal Valley. The black eyes of the pontiff eventually transformed the dancer into a beastly creature, her armor fusing with her own hide. Okay, and the same for the rest of the set then. So, we learned kind of two very important things there, I guess. First of all, the dancer is a descendant of the old royal family, so Guinevere, most likely, and then either a direct descendant like her daughter, or perhaps a granddaughter, or more extended family. Well, I guess not really more extended family if a direct descendant, but a grandchild, great-grandchild, any of those would still be possible. The other thing that I wanted to check out really quick is some of the weapons that we picked up recently. I had a little bit of an awakening when it comes to how the weapon arts work. And I think this is a byproduct of me using the S-Stock and then the Sword of Judgment, as they don't have sword arts that work like this, either having just a single attack or a sword stance. But things like the Dancer's Sword, for example, can use their sword art and then chain it into a strong attack for... I want to make sure that I'm not going to run into anyone, but can then chain it into a strong attack for something like this. And you get sort of the dancer's dance. And it lasts until you run out of stamina or run out of FP? Stamina, okay. So even without FP to continue it, it's a constant barrage until the stamina bar is out. In fact, even with no FP at all, you can still start it. I'm assuming it does like vastly reduce damage at that point, if I had to guess. Similarly, and we're going to spend just a minute or so doing this real quick, but similarly, things like the Pontiff Knight's Curved Sword has a fancy thing. Yeah, where it becomes like a real big sword. Again, by using the L2 for the weapon art and then immediately the R2 for a heavy attack. Otherwise, you know, this is normal heavy attack. You never get... And this is chained weapon art. You never see that sort of thing otherwise. The other kind of cool one that I picked up recently was the Gargoyle Flame Spear. Likewise has... This is its weapon art. Sort of a charging spear rush. But if you chain that into an immediate heavy attack, you get that, which is substantially cooler than just charging in at things with a spear. Alright, we're going to go back to our judgment-y greatsword here, and then, in the spirit of other random things that I wanted to do, I'm going to head back to the Undead Settlement, where I believe due to our fight with the old Demon King involving Cuculus, that he now has like his armor set here. Someone was kind enough to leave a comment saying, hey, you beat this boss with this summon, you now get their equipment. Head back to where you met Cornix in the Undead Settlement, and it should be there. And so... Oh, actually I think this is probably the wrong bonfire. Oh, it might be that item right up there, actually. Tell you what, I'm just going to jog over there instead of warping again and staring at too many more load screens. We should be able to pretty easily... You know what? There's no reason for me to be afraid of this guy. Like, we're way over leveled for the area. Of course, then he makes short work of me. But, I'm always on the lookout for, like, drops of items that I maybe don't have yet. I don't think we're going to get any assistance from our giant archer friend. I think he only fires, like, the very first time you encounter... Oh. Okay, remember when I said we have nothing to fear here because we're way over leveled? Maybe I was wrong. Okay, that's gonna be fine. That's gonna be fine. No, that worked. Anyway, I believe the giant... Man. Another reason to start with this is the beginning of a brand new recording session. I might be a little bit rusty, having not played for a day or so. It gives me an opportunity to get back into the swing of things. I believe Giant Man only fires, like, the very first time you pass by one of the white birches. I know there are some other ones, specifically up in the Cathedral of the Deep. I tried to get him to shoot again. I didn't, at that time, quite understand why he did so. And, is he not up there anymore? Like, at all? Huh. Okay, well, maybe that's why he's not shooting. But I was going to say, I remember trying to get him to fire again, and having no such luck out of another one of these? Another one of Sirius's signs? Is she going to be being invaded again? Okay, I wonder how many of those there are. Like, that, do I really need to backtrack my way through, like, the entire game? Ensuring that there aren't now random NPC summon signs behind me. I think I know where I'm going. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I don't want to be down there. I want to be on the other side of this. I want to be up and around and down to get over to that ledge. Oh, thank you. Okay. We can do this. It should be over here. Yeah, it's been a cool minute since I have had to navigate this place. And no real reason to rest again. But I think we're going over there. Am I wrong? Yeah, right over there. Okay, I think we're going to that item. And then I think maybe we're going up to the tower so that I can figure out what happened to our friend. And if the giant has left us. I guess I'm not coming up here. I think the comment said that it would be where I met Cornix, the Pyromancer trainer, which was up here. But that item is not up here. It is this away, I think. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, down over here. And whoa. Is that a... I can't lock onto it. Huh. The fire clutch ring? That's not what I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting at all. I mean, we've gotten other clutch rings. Magic, but... Okay, they all compromise damage absorption. So we've got magic, we've got fire, and we've got dark clutch rings now. And that just gave us fire, which I guess, you know, still kind of fits the bill. We're in the area where we met the Pyromancer trainer. I guess let me pop back up top and see if there is anything over there. I was expecting like an armor set, presumably. That seems good. There's still a whole bunch of stuff I don't understand. Like, I'm pretty sure I just got an Estus flask back a minute ago. I have no idea what mechanic is doing that. I'm not playing online, so any sort of, you know, upvoting message thing doesn't really hold up. I know in Dark Souls 1, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Alright, so it's Cornix's garb. It's not Cuculus's stuff. Maybe they were wearing the same thing. I don't actually recall. And also a spotted whip. So in Dark Souls 1, I'm just trying to, I need to do some more dropping down, I think. You would get humanity, what felt like randomly, until the boss of an area was defeated. You would get humanity back like every so many kills, and that always confused a lot of people, and there were a lot of theories as to why that happened, but it was in fact just killing enemies return them to you. So I wonder if something similar is going on here, where just killing enemies randomly returns Estus Flask to you. It doesn't quite seem that consistent, though, does it? Like, as simple as when you kill enemies, you get Estus Flask back. I feel like we'd be running into that far more often. It seems fairly irregular, I suppose, the rate at which we gain them. So... Giant Man. The Hawk Ring. Okay. What happened to you? I want to take a look at him from the other side. He's just like slumped down. It looks like he's just napping, but I get from the angle of his neck, I get the impression this nap is going to last a very long time. However, okay, he did drop the Ring of Hawkeye Go, which would be right here. Extends the range of bows, kind of as expected. Ring associated with Hawkeye Go, one of the four knights of Gwyn, the First Lord, extends the range of arrows. In his later years, the giant Go was blinded, but this did not prevent him from striking down a calamitous dragon with his great bow. Indeed. Then we got Cornyx's skirt, attire of Cornyx, Pyromancer of the Great Swamp. This long skirt emulates those worn by witches who were the forebears of pyromancy. Attire of Cornyx, Pyromancer of the Great Swamp. The bronze ornamentation serves to ward off evil spirits. And in the Great Swamp, it was customary to adorn oneself with articles of nature. Cornyx favored the use of raven feathers. Ravens are said to have once been fire-like messengers, guiding the undead to the land of ancient gods. You're not far off. I think it's really cool that they didn't copy and paste the description across Cornyx's set, like it's all unique. That is actually fairly rare and kind of cool. Also, we did actually get the Spotted Whip, which I didn't look at either. Spotted Whip, of course, coming back from Dark Souls 2. A whip modeled with venomous-looking spots, favored by some female pyromancers of the Great Swamp, as its noxious appearance would suggest. Damage from this whip poisons its victims, slowly but surely guiding them into their deaths. And, I thought I heard something there. The skill is Impact. Strike from left to evade shields and deal a stinging blow that temporarily slows stamina recovery. The shackles of bondage lie deep in the hearts of all humankind. The Spotted Whip actually wasn't bad if you wanted to make poison builds in Dark Souls 2. I don't know how viable poison builds are in Dark Souls 3, but I assume it's going to be a likely candidate. Ooh, that's a lot of bleed buildup you have there. Likely candidate for any potential poison builds. I am a little disappointed that power stancing is not a thing in Dark Souls 3. I did one of many playthroughs of Dark Souls 2 with power stance whips as a build. That was actually quite a lot of fun. And I would use both the spotted and notched occasionally. I think for the most part I just had the whips themselves for standard damage, but especially in PvP, You can tend to cause people to panic a little bit by... Oh, I didn't even see the second dog. Where did you come from? By suddenly filling up both poison and bleed bars, people would tend to get a little desperate to finish fights faster. That sort of thing. That's also quite a lot of bleed buildup. Now, I'm going to need some of these Estus flasks, I'm sure. The last invader into Sirius's world was no pushover. Of course, it was in a much later area. I wonder if I should have done this, like, much earlier in the game, in which case, I don't think I've gotten one of those before. In which case, this might be, like, severely under our level. Giant wooden hammer, worker tool of the undead settlement, intended to grind flesh and bone to prepare for burial, rather than use in battle. To grind flesh and bone to prepare for burial? Is that how you bury people? You use a giant wooden mallet to grind flesh and bone? That doesn't seem right. Any of these have any... Nah, not really any new context. I mean, the transposing kiln, I didn't really know what that was the first time. But I don't know why you would need to put a message like, hey, there is a boss coming up. Huh. Alright, well, let's pop in and see what our old friend needs as help here. Huh. And I wonder if it's just Sirius that we're doing this with, like this is her thing, get summoned into her world to help.
I finally found you. Just as I promised, Grandpa. Remember?
Granddad? I feel like I'm missing something here. Holy Knight Hodrick. Ah, I remember you. A couple of times, actually. We were invaded by him both in the undead settlement, where we currently are, as well as like mad phantom summon sign that was in the Crucifixion Woods, which we used him a little bit to help us defeat a red phantom. Unfortunately, using backstabs right on top of a warmth, probably not the smartest decision. Oh, snap. Except that did really very low damage. Yeah. I wonder if it was like this at it was like this in Irithyll as well, though. Like Sirius's damage to her invader was quite low compared to mine. Oh no. Okay. Okay. May have gotten myself a little bit beaten up there, but I figured that was better than letting her eat a riposte. And it looks like Hodrick is now out of Estus, so I get the feeling this is about to start getting a lot worse for him. Really? That was a little surprising. I guess he did have Power Within plus a weapon art currently cast. Maybe I should have expected that. Ugh. Huh. Well, the game is kind enough to just spit you out right in front of it again. I don't even go back to the bonfire, so that's pretty kind. Also noticed on a load screen there, the black hand hat, which gave a little bit of a description of what the black hands were. We have seen...
I finally found you.
Black Hand Goddard available a couple of times to use as a summon. It describes them as like a designation for people who had served multiple kings. Like they had been around longer than the current king, and like served their predecessor, etc. I think that's actually kind of an interesting thing, considering I've heard nothing else about Goddard. And I really feel like with these NPCs, it's just you have to wear them down to the point that they're out of Estus. Like that's the only way this fight is ending. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. Okay. No, Cirrus! Oh, God. Okay, well, she did manage to live through that, so I'm hoping if I can keep him off of her... Oh, wow. For just a minute, she's going to be able to get back. Oh, that's equally terrible. This is what I get for trying to rescue Cirrus instead of, worrying about not dying myself. I got a little overly aggressive trying to keep aggro and earned myself a lovely parry and riposte. That was his modus operandi in the Crucifixion Woods as well. He's a computer-controlled opponent, so his ability to parry is what you might refer to as a little bit superhuman, since he can basically read your button inputs. It means if you swing at him when he has his shield equipped, you're about to get parried. That's why he was so dangerous to me, actually, in the Crucifixion Woods.
I finally found him.
Yes, you finally found him.
Just as I promised, Grandad.
Now what? Wow, that's a great start. Very first attack, parried by the enemy. So Cirrus greets Hodrick as her granddad. Now, I do actually think I can maybe stay just at the edge of my range, and he actually cannot parry me. I don't know how reliable that's going to be, but his shield doesn't quite pull it off there. Alright. Nope. And, of course, the backstep. I don't feel like I've had any other hints that... Oh, man. That hurt quite a lot. Any other hints that Hodrick and Cirrus were related. I don't really feel like I know a lot about Hodrick in general, though. Oh, there we go. Out of Estus. And let's everybody get a glowy sword. That sounds like a great idea. Oh, yeah, that's some real hyper armor you got there. And cut down.
Good night, Grandad.
Huh. Granddad. Well, for an old guy, he sure was spry. Of course, we are undead and potentially immortal, so maybe that doesn't matter so much anymore. She might have been. In fact, maybe there is something to read into that. If he was an adult in the prime of his life, and also mound makers. What? Okay. Covenant mound makers. Is that a? They're just gonna covenant item. So that would be the bonfire that we get to after the boss fight. Let me actually warp down there really quick and see if anything shows up after fighting and killing them. So, if he's a man in the prime of his life and that is his granddaughter, also a full-grown woman, can we assume that he became undead and therefore undying and unaging shortly after, like, her, mother or father was born? And then that Hodrick has just existed in his current state for I don't know, 40 or 50 years at the minimum while she grew up. Whoa. What just took damage over there? What would be in that direction? Huh. What? I'm confused by so many things. Yeah, and there's an item right over here. That's pretty much exactly what I was expecting. So that's going to be Hodrick's set? Is this going to explain maybe a little bit about what was going on there? Sunset Helm. Helm of Hodrick. Holy Knight of the Sunless Realm. Okay, so Sirius of the Sunless Realm. This light gold helm, named for its sunset hues, is now faded and wrapped in tainted rags. The sorry fool was known to wander the battlefield as a crazed ghoul, lashing out at friend and foe alike. Huh. Similarly, light gold, named for sunset hues. Okay, same description for each. So that does seem to kind of fit, right? That we also got the Mound Maker's Covenant, a malformed vertebrae found by the mad, with a queer symbol on its inside, proof of the shackles of the gods. Equipped to pledge oneself to the Mound Maker's Covenant. The Mound Makers wish only to add to their mounds, becoming mad spirits, whether summoned as cooperators or invaders. They are blithe to those around them, for in their minds, any kill might lead to another shackle. Okay, so he certainly was like a mad ghoul just attacking everyone. So he has been undead for quite some time, it seems like. Actually, I'm going to check out this armor set really quick. The helmet is a little weird to me. I do sort of like this idea of like a golden valiant armor that is clearly not been kept up at all, leading it to what it currently is. You know, the rags on the hands, for example, are blood-soaked. That's, I think, a very neat artistic decision. And as long as we're here, so this is, I think, exactly what Cornix wears. I've been wearing his sage wrap head thing for quite a while. And that's pretty cool. I can see some sorceress stuff happening here. Yeah, don't I look cool when I'm casting spells wearing that? I think so. I am, however, going to go back to my traditional Drang setup. And we are going to then get out of here. I don't know where... I guess I'm heading back to the Lothric Castle Dancer's Bonfire. It's probably not called that, because maybe it is. It wasn't there before we killed the Dancer, so maybe it is in fact. Yeah, and as I might have had a sneaking suspicion, she is now back to talk to again.
Oh, there you are. I'm afraid I've involved you in my affairs over a little promise at that. My sincerest thanks for your assistance. At last, my grandfather will rest in peace, and I can die. But there is one last. May I take a vow to serve you as a knight?
Well, she just told us that she can now die. Yay! What good is it you pledging your service to me, lady? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and accept it.
I am most grateful. I, Cirrus, do hereby serve as your faithful knight. Wherever, whenever I am needed. My loyalty shall never waver. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
Am I mistaken? Like, the subtitles didn't quite match up to the lines spoken there?
If I may ever be of assistance, I am your knight, forever and true. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
So we've now got our own loyal Dark Moonblade at our beck and call.
If I may ever be...
And that's going to be it. Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to come with me right now, That'd be pretty cool. I've got some unseen... That's not it. Yeah, there we go. I've got some unseen territory to start wandering through, so some backup might not be the worst idea in the world. So it turns out our side errands took up about 30 minutes of our time. We'll have a little bit of time here to poke around in the new areas of the Lothric Castle. I do wonder how much you can sequence break with what we've seen here. If we encounter Emma fairly early on in the game, if we just had killed her then, place the basin, yep. If we just killed her then, would that have queued the dancer fight? You'd be like level 10, but you know, you could fight and kill the dancer at level 10, then you get access to this just straight away. Is that how that would work? Looks like we got 3 paths ahead of us. Maybe this doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so this is just a dead end. Yeah, like an actual dead end. So there's 2 paths ahead of us. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take the left fork and see where this leads. Us left-handed folk, we just don't get enough credit. So anytime I can, it's the left path first. And then open it from the side. All right, so we're gonna do some crazy loopy around stuff, come back, shortcut, and then take the other path. I'm assuming. So I'm hoping, in fact, that this is not the way forward. That this is like a little. Excuse me. This is just a little diversion. Huh. This feels very reminiscent of me crossing the bridge into Sin's Fortress for the very first time and being able to look on either side and witness treetops. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. Oh, man. You have way too much health. Like, entirely too much health. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Okay. I actually don't know how I took so little damage on that. Cathedral Knight leggings. Now, are these... I don't know that I've ever seen these before. Yeah, these are knights serving the Cathedral of the Deep. Maybe I've seen some piece of their armor then. Repulsive creatures of the deep are sure to attract the foolish. But the Cathedral Knights are prepared to meet such intruders head-on with their more than ample might. So... I assume that means that the Cathedral of the Deep and Lothric Castle, like the royal family themselves, are on good terms. That their knights would be located here. Or, well, maybe not. There are some scenes in the early game Lothric Castle where you get the impression that the Blue Knights, who I now would know to be... serving the Cathedral of the Deep, and the Red Knights were fighting one another. There was a spot to get off early, wasn't there? I'm almost certain. Oh, also there's that thing out there. I'm gonna try to just step out right here. Alright. Consumed King's Garden. Okay. More you folk. Gotcha. Huh. So the red and the blue knights. No, take it. Does that mean, you know, one of those two was an invading force? Their attire seemed... Oh, great. I gotta drop down to get here. So, like... Oh, or is the elevator just going straight? Yeah, okay. The Estus Shard was all that was concealed up here. I think, at least. Oh, a Titanite chunk. I'll certainly take that. More slug enemies. Okay. their attire was certainly very similar to each other. So I suppose... Oh, not again. I suppose it's also entirely possible that... Yeah, it just leads to right here. This is also poison territory. Okay. I suppose it's also possible that they were just, you know, different units in the same army, and that builds up fast. You know, something of that nature, and whatever killed... Oh, there's multiple of those things just wandering around. They're like the normal enemy now. Well, as you saw, I have equipped some firebombs, so I'll be as prepared for them as I can be. If they are just different units within the same army, for example, then whatever was killing both of them left no sign of itself. You know, there were their bodies in great numbers, but nothing else to explain, like maybe what they had killed defending themselves. Alright. I should not have got hit by that. I actually briefly got distracted by that thing over there, and then threw a firebomb at nothing. Okay. Just gonna patrol back over here. So, I don't want to stun it while it's on... Yeah, there we go. Oh, no problem there. While it's on the poisonous area, because I want to be able to then run in, do some of this. Okay. Okay. Haven't fought one of you in a while. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, I'm out of stamina. That's what I'm about. Okay. Stamina rebuild. Takes stamina to throw firebombs. Maybe it's always taking stamina to throw firebombs? I don't know. I've not exactly used many firebombs throughout this playthrough. Wow. That attack when I stood up was queued from before I got knocked down. Alright. Alright. Sure takes them a long time to dissipate. And they sure leave an awful big mess behind. You know what? I think we're gonna have to. Let's also go with some purple moss clumps. As I imagine I'm about to get myself poisoned coming into here. Oh, thank God. At least these guys aren't... Ooh, claw. These guys aren't super defensive. Oh, it's toxic. It's toxic. Shadow, black firebombs, yay. Well, as long as we're toxic, I may as well pick up everything else. And then... I think that was everything. We'll use this. We'll use this. And everything's hunky-dory. Alright, nothing else up here. Oh man, there's two more of them. I do not have enough firebombs for this. Yeah, I definitely think heading back to Firelink Shrine and picking up copious amounts of firebombs might make a ton of sense here. It would likely make fighting these guys a whole lot easier. I hate that. Yeah. Oh, not really fond of that either. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of worked. I was actually intending to heal, but the firebomb at least was a nice distraction. Man, really do not understand which way these guys are planning on attacking, which is probably the point. And I also probably do not want to get toxic. I also don't want to get killed, as another point of fact. Whew. You got a real bad attitude, man. More large titanite, though. And more titanite chunks. Even better. Huh. And... not so exciting with the human bind resin. Alright, what do we got over here? Probably a way out of here. In fact, like, this would seem to head back in the general direction of the does not open from this side door that we spotted earlier. So I'm guessing that is the way forward. Trademark, copyright pending, etc., etc. Which means let's go around dealing with maybe some of the other stuff first. I'm up there, so I want to go... oh man, lots more items. Lots more items. Quit giving me all this fat loots, video game. You're making it hard to say no. Another titanite chunk. Wow. So, this is like the memo telling you that if you don't have at least a +7 weapon, that you probably need to get one. That is my assumption, anyway. Got a dark gem. That's okay. And I'm, of course, using a boss weapon. My assumption, or my understanding, really, as I've been told this by others, is that the boss weapons are kind of like twice the upgrade. Like a +2 is supposed to be equivalent to a +4. Hello, friend. So this is a... I have no idea what that did. So this is a +3 weapon. So it should be the equivalent of like a +6 not boss weapon. They don't really come equipped with much ranged anything. I'm sorry. I didn't think this went through. I'm not going to need those, that's for sure. Let's maybe go kukri on you. Yeah, you didn't like that very much. Huh. Well, thank you for just allowing me to kill you. I appreciate that. I wonder what they would have done had I just left them. We may never know. Okay, what about you? You gonna let me kukri you to death? Something says he's gonna have more to say about it. Well, kind of. Oh, yeah, your pathing caught on, did it? Alright. Actually, I think that's pretty awesome that he was able to pad that out. Alright. Giant sword man. It's not the size of the sword, it's how you use it, etc., etc. Alright. Yeah, I greatly prefer fighting those than the ones with the shields. Wow. Helm, leggings, and a large titanite shard. Okay, okay. Every time that sound effect, man. Every time. Oh. We're no longer in toxic territory. That's cool. A little unexpected. Yeah, I think I've finally gotten their number as far as the optimal backstab location. Say as I whiff one. Or two. Oh, boy. Okay. Wow. The stagger is real. I could not recover from that for whatever reason. Oh, that's insane. Okay. Okay. Tell you what. We are probably just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I think otherwise I'm going to end up way over time trying to complete the entire area. And I already know fighting those giant black tar people is like real not fun, and I'm not going to enjoy it one bit. I'll probably go ahead and clear that area out up to the point that we just died on and pick up the next episode from there. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. A little bit unorthodox, but we got progress under our belts anyway, and plenty of stuff ahead of us still. If you did enjoy it, feel free to subscribe. There's more videos on the channel every day. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other videos, and I will catch you guys next time.